So getting straight into it, I want to discuss the market outlook for biotechnology and biopharma industry in India, along with giving a regulatory perspective of it in India. So the biotechnology and biopharma industry are among the fastest growing segments of the life sciences industry globally. And this has marked a transition from traditional small molecule drug to biologics, biosimilars, and advanced therapies, including cell therapy and gene therapy. This is a clear symbol of the transition that the government and the industry players have been pushing from generics to innovation. And biotech stands at the intersection of it, and it has become a pillar of this transition. From a global market outlook, the investments are increasing in biologics, gene therapies, and gene technologies. And this particular growth is driven by aging populations, rising burden of chronic diseases, and even the shift towards the precision and personalized medicines. And India's position in this biotech ecosystem plays a crucial role. India has emerged as a major biotechnology hub, particularly when it comes to vaccines, biosimilars, and biologics. Our strength is that we have strong manufacturing capabilities and a very established and strong regulatory framework regarding around biologics and biosimilars. We have highly skilled workforce, and even the research and development process here through CROs and other organizations is very cost efficient. The key industry segments and key trends shaping this sector include agriculture biotechnology, biopharmaceuticals such as vaccines, monoclonal antibodies, biosimilars, genomics and precision medicine, and AI enabled drug discovery, where genomics has started playing a major role globally. Now, this is also supported by the rising collaboration between academia, startups, and pharmaceutical companies. Coming to the regulatory landscape for biotechnology and biopharma in India, I will go over it very briefly. The primary regulation for this sector is the Drugs and Cosmetics Act and the drugs rules, which govern the approval, manufacture, import, distribution, and sale of drugs in India, which includes biologics and biosimilars. Similarly, the new drugs and clinical trial rules governs the clinical trial for these products. Now, recently, the regulator has also taken cognizance of these rising technologies, and in the past decade, they have come out with guidelines on these technologies, such as the guidelines on similar biologics and the guidance for biologics, and even the GEO rules. The GEO rules are essentially the genetically engineered organisms or cells rules of 1989, issued under the Environment Protection Act. Now, these rules regulate the research, manufacturing, and generally handling or usage of genetically engineered organisms and microorganisms. But the issue here is that it comes more from an environmental perspective rather than the perspective of clinical use. So, currently, while we do have well defined regulatory mechanisms for biosimilars and biologics, as I mentioned earlier, including the industry guidance for it, we still do not have clear guidelines or regulatory frameworks for the clinical use and research or development of gene therapies and genomics in general. Now, this does pose a major challenge to the industry, along with other challenges that I will be discussing now. So, these regulatory challenges do have a major impact on the industry. Like I said earlier, that we do not have clear regulations for genomics. Now, genomics has become the new big thing, not just in India, but across the world. And there are countries which do have regulations for this, such as the US and UK. But currently, we still lack distinct regulations or a single unified regulation. So, what happens is when it comes to genomics, there are multiple regulations that regulate smaller aspects of the particular industry, and there is a major overlap and regulatory complexity. Now, this creates challenges for Indian companies and foreign companies looking to enter into this space. So, there is urgent need for the regulator to look into this aspect and create single, unified, and clear regulations governing this industry. Now, coming to clinical trial and approval timelines, biologics and biosimilars do often face extensive clinical evaluation and regulatory scrutiny due to their nature. They are very different from traditional drugs and traditional small molecule drugs, which is why this additional scrutiny applies. What happens is that for products with rDNA in them, which is mainly the case for genomic products, they continue to remain a new drug. So, under the regulatory system, when a new drug is approved, it remains a new drug for a period of 4 years, after which it stops being a new drug. However, for gene related products that contain rDNA in them, they will continue to remain a new drug for the time being, for the rest of its duration. Now, how that impacts the industry is that, for example, if I were to introduce a genomic product into India, I have gotten the approval for it, and for a period of 4 years, it will be a new drug if the regular regulations applied to it. And after 4 years, if another person were to introduce a similar product of mine, basically a generic product of my product, then they would ideally not have to go through the entire clinical trial procedure, and they may actually obtain certain relaxations, and they can continue and going ahead with BABE studies. But that's not the case with gene products and sometimes even biologics. They require extensive clinical evaluation, which can sometimes become a hurdle for companies looking to enter into the space due to the lengthy timelines or even the regulatory costs. However, the government has taken many initiatives and policy initiatives supporting the biotech sector. For example, the National Biotechnology Development Strategy, that was from 2021 to 2025. The objective of the strategy was to expand India's bioeconomy to approximately $150 billion. And the key elements were promoting the biopharmaceutical innovation in India, strengthening the biomanufacturing capacity in India, and encouraging industry academia collaboration. Similarly, the product link incentive, or the PLI scheme for pharmaceuticals, with the objective of promoting domestic manufacturing of high value pharmaceutical products, including biologics. Now, the key element here was the financial incentive based on incremental sale of these products. It focused on complex generics, biologics, and high value pharmaceutical products, thereby promoting the manufacturing of biosimilars and biologics in India. Similarly, there was the Genome India project, which aimed at the development of a national genomic database to support and encourage collaboration in relation to genomics and precision medicine. Given that India is a highly diverse country, the key element here was to collect genomic data from diverse populations, and that was successfully completed. This ultimately resulted in the support of research in genetic susceptibility and personalized therapeutics. Now, coming to the most recent initiative, that is the Union Budget of 2026. So, under the budget, a scheme was launched known as the Biopharma Shakti Scheme, which marked 10,000 crores initiative over 5 years for the biotech sector. It aimed to build end-to-end manufacturing and a research ecosystem for biologics and biosimilars in India, along with the expansion of the clinical trial infrastructure. Now, coming to the way forward when it comes to this industry, the most primary thing, in my opinion, would be to streamline the regulatory frameworks due to the lack of clarity here. And also, what that would do is develop clear regulatory pathways for biotech, not just for the Indian players, but also for the foreign players. This would ultimately, of course, boost India's credibility, India's regulatory framework, and investment into the sector. Another thing that I would say is to further encourage innovation and R&D by strengthening industry and academia collaboration, along with supporting startups and other existing industries who are focusing on building up this particular industry. That's it for my part. Thank you.